let's talk PD. So I wanted to talk about something that I usually don't talk about. I don't think I've ever talked about this topic on my channel since I've had it. And that's professional development, or PD. And a lot of teachers, I think now they're getting into the full swing of things, getting back to school, getting more comfortable with their students and their routine. More than likely, you're probably looking for some meaningful professional development to participate in. In New Jersey, there's certain requirements that I know I need to fulfill as far as hours of professional development, and I imagine it's the same in a lot of other states. So, the question I always get asked is, where do I go to get meaningful professional development? And the fact of the matter is, I'm really lucky in that I work at a school district that provides plenty of learning opportunities for me. And it's really nice because not only do they provide me different opportunities, but they also allow me to learn in different ways. So I could go to a class in person, or I could also learn online. And so by having these opportunities, I'm very fortunate because I know not all school districts are like this. I can definitely say that the school districts that I've worked in previously definitely didn't offer as many choices. And so for those teachers that are maybe looking for meaningful professional development, while you may be provided with certain things by your district, it can be really hard sometimes. And you often wonder, are you wasting your time by attending professional development that definitely doesn't really go along with what you're doing in your classes or what your vision for science education is. So I'm in the unique position of being able to take plenty of professional development, but also I just recently started actually teaching my own, and it's been really nice. I presented at the New Jersey Science Convention, and this summer I was at EdTech Fest, and for anybody that's in Montville, I actually presented my unit menus in flipped learning at Montville, so I've had a lot of opportunities. But I would say probably the number one thing that you want to look for whenever you're thinking about taking professional development is, if you're learning about a particular methodology or strategy, you want to make sure that you're actually going to engage in that strategy or methodology while you're taking the professional development. It just allows you to be able to see what's going on and what it's going to look like in your classroom. And so that's why whenever I teach professional development about unit menus, I'm not standing up and doing a PowerPoint with my students. Instead, I'm actually engaging them in learning about a unit menu by doing a unit menu. And it always seemed really obvious to me, but I guess not to other people, that this is the way PD should be, but it is what it is. Not everybody can be me, that's for sure. So for those teachers who are out there that maybe are engaging in professional development that is not so great or maybe isn't applicable to your jobs, I have one really golden tip for you. Number one, first and foremost, go into the professional development with a complete open mind and think about just simply one thing that you can bring back to your classroom, just one. So whether it be the presenter talking about a particular article or the presenter is using a tech tool, think about just one thing that you could simply just take back, and that can make all the difference. Last year, I had to register for one more turnkey class. So besides teaching the turnkey classes here, I also have to take them. And so I needed one more class. And I took a class that I was kind of like, oh yeah, I know what this is all about. I'm tech savvy, whatever. But so I took this class. It was basically how to use, I'm not doing it justice, but basically take a Google slide and make it an agenda. And I really love the idea because if you remember on my cart, I'm teaching on a cart, I have this humongous whiteboard, and it was just so huge, and I was like, there's just so much stuff on my cart, I need to get some of it off. So I opted to take this class. So I incorporated this Google Slide daily drill into my daily teaching practice, and I can tell you it was the smallest change, but oh my gosh, what an impact it made on my classroom environment. So I'll just quickly show you what I started doing, just in case you're interested and this is something that you wanted to try, but I think it's really transformative for your classroom culture. So check it out. This is a Google Slides presentation. My students all have Chromebooks, so what I've started to do since the beginning of school, and I'll just kind of show you, I have quite a few. Since the beginning of school, I basically am posting the daily drill. So it looks something like this. And so I always post, what the plan is, some sort of quote, and homework. And it's been really amazing for the students to kind of be able to just see what we're doing in class. Every time the student is absent, they can go right here. And it wasn't that hard to create. It was actually pretty easy. And you can see the students can constantly scroll through and see everything that we did. So this is where we are for Friday. Again, super simple, really easy. And I do this for honors, and then I also have it for CP. So I have a CP version as well. So I think, like I said, this is a small change that I made in my classroom, and it made a really big difference. So this is just a really short and sweet video on some things to think about when you're trying to engage in some professional development that's meaningful to your work. Like I said, just pick one thing that you can bring back. While, you may be sitting in a professional development that you think is really not applicable to what you do, look for that one thing that you can use and help your students in your classroom with. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a wonderful week with your students, and I'll check in with you next week.